Hi everyone, Lee again here from Next Level Awareness, and in this video I want to talk about what happens to us when we kind of transcend the physical world we see around us and we kind of move to just mind, which is a very, very high state of being, which not many people can accomplish. But eventually on your spiritual path you will eventually get to this point where you realize that the only reality is mind, and with a mind you can kind of imagine anything you like. The way I want to explain this is you realize that nothing in the physical world is actually real. It's not solid because it's constantly changing. Okay, like say for instance a tree like this one. This starts out as a seed and it grows to a tree, then eventually the tree will die and go back into the earth. The same with us. We started off as bacteria, we evolved to this point, and eventually we'll evolve to something else. So nothing's actually solid in the way that we see it physically, and everything kind of keeps changing. So it's just a fluctuation and a constant change of energy vibrations, and that's what the physical world is. So everything we think is of real, okay, even this phone I'm using now, if I think of this as real, it's not actually real. It's made up of many different parts that have been created from something else, and that something else is being created from something else. So it's constantly moving like that. So it's never fully static. But the mind is, okay? The mind can conceive this phone as one static thing that's just there as a solid phone, or this tree, the mind can see this tree as one thing that's here in the present moment. But the actual physical world isn't like that, okay? So the mind is always in the now, the physical world is constantly changing within the now. So eventually you'll reach a stage where you realize the physical world is not solid, it's not like what you think it is, and you realize everything is mind. So when you do this, you can then kind of use all your physical senses, your five senses, to create anything you want in your mind without having to rely on the physical world for it, you see, because in the physical world things come and go. Nothing's permanent. But with your mind you can create something permanent just by a thought. Okay, so let's say you're sitting down in your garden having a coffee, something to eat, and you can then literally imagine that you're somewhere else, close your eyes and imagine it, and to your mind there's no difference. To your mind you can be somewhere else. You can be on a tropical island, you can be somewhere classed as the most beautiful place in the world, but to your mind there's no difference to actually being there physically and just imagining it with your mind, because it's the same thing. Your mind just reflects what's there, what's constantly moving, and creates it into like a form which you can then take in as an experience. But what you'll eventually realize is this experience is there all the time, and you don't have to necessarily rely on the physical manifestations around you to create your mind. So you can sit and imagine that you're in a tropical island. You can sit and imagine that you're eating something beautiful, and the more you practice this, the more that thing that you're eating in your imagination, in your mind, will become real. And the more real it becomes, it actually starts to become better than the physical world. And the reason for that is because it's unlimited. You see, you can eat anything you want whenever you want. You don't have to rely on traveling through what we see as space and time just to get somewhere, just to eat something, to travel somewhere, to have some experience, because it's all in the mind, and that's what you'll realize eventually. Now, the Buddhist religion classes this as the most highest form of enlightenment, and some Buddhists even go to the extreme of seeing themselves as something different in the mind. They see themselves as another entity that looks completely different to them, because they've transcended the physical, you see, via meditation. They've gone to points where they've transcended this physical world and they don't need it anymore. They realize everything's mind, because mind's unlimited. And when we leave this vibrational frequency, or this reality that we're in now, apparently, so I've heard in many near-death experiences, we just mind anyway, and we can manifest anything we want instantly. So that's probably the idea of being here in this physical world, so that we've got all this knowledge so we can then manifest it instantly anyway. So some people reach a point where they can do that anyway on this physical reality, and then they've transcended everything, and apparently when you've reached this level there's no more learning. Okay, that's full enlightenment, full liberation, and there's no more learning involved, because what's left to learn? You see, you don't have to go through all the struggle of the physical with the ego trying to get things, trying to chase money, etc., because you'll realize everything's in the mind, and whatever you want you can just have with an imagination like that. So this is like one of the highest states of enlightenment, and this is something I'm exploring at the moment. I haven't reached this stage fully yet, but I'm working on it. I can imagine doing some things, and I am starting to realize that there is no limits to the imagination, and I don't necessarily need to do things in the physical anymore. It's all in the mind, and everybody will reach this point eventually with their spiritual path. And when you do reach this point, you've really kind of reached the highest level of this physical dimension that we're in now, I would say. But yeah, what's your thoughts on that, guys? This is just my opinion. This is something I'm doing at the moment, and I think it's fascinating. So yeah, leave your comments, guys. Thanks for listening. I'll be back shortly with another video. See you guys soon. Also, please check out my other videos if you're into this kind of stuff. I don't normally promote my other videos, but if you haven't watched any of my previous videos, watch a few, because there's a few that might help you there. So yeah, so thanks a lot, guys. Have a nice day. See you on the next video.